All right, for this lesson, we are going to talk about how to find the base and the height of a triangle. Now we need to find this because this will then help us find the area in the next lesson. But we have to be able to find the base and the height. The most important thing to remember about finding the base and the height is that they need to be perpendicular. That is the most important thing and the thing that is easiest to get wrong. Okay, now remember, perpendicular means they form a right angle. Okay, usually there'll be that right angle symbol. Sometimes it'll be like in the middle, but they do need to form that right angle. Now the base is often the bottom, but not always, but we can always rotate it so that it ends up on the bottom. It will be one of the outside sides of the triangle. The height could be on the outside or could be on the inside. For example, if I say that this is the base of this triangle, then I would say, okay, well, this one I can see is at a right angle, so that is the height. So it could be one of the other sides of the triangle. However, if I say that this is the base of this triangle, there's no side that forms a right angle. This doesn't form a right angle right here. This one doesn't form a right angle. So I have to just imagine the height, and the height would actually go straight up the middle. Okay, because I could draw and I could make a line that forms a right angle that would then be the height. With this one, if I were to name this the base, I would actually have to imagine the height out here of how tall the triangle is. So I could imagine if the base kept going, it would make a right angle. So that would be the height of this triangle. Again, going straight up and down. If the base is the bottom, the height goes straight up and down. It is not tilted sideways like this. Just like if you were standing on the ground right here, your height would go straight up and down, right? That's how we measure a height. Let's take a look at some more examples. So there's this triangle right here. There's a lot of lines happening, but we're talking about triangle ABC. So triangle A to B to C right here. Now they're telling us this thing right here. That means the line that goes from B to C. So they're saying, okay, if the base is this one, what is the height? Well, I need to find the line that's perpendicular to that. Okay, so imagine I extend it. Okay, what's perpendicular to this line? Well, this one is, and it goes from A to D, so I would say the height is AD. You can say DA. Usually we go in alphabetical order. Either way is fine with me. Now, the base really could be any of the lines of the triangle. So let's say if the base was AC this time. AC was the base, so this is my base. Right there. What is the height? Remember, sometimes I need to extend it out to see. And when I extend it out, I can see, oh, this line runs into that base at a 90-degree perpendicular angle. So that's the height, BE. All right. Let's do the next one. Oops. All right, so if the base is now AB, because again, the base can be any of the outside lines. The base is AB right here. I need to figure out, okay, if that were on the bottom, which one is going straight up? Well, I can extend it out, and if I extend it out, I can see, This one is perpendicular, so the height is CF. If it's still a little confusing, that's okay. I'm going to do more examples and it should start to make more sense. Just bear with me. If you need to pause it and get that written down, go ahead. On your worksheet, it's going to ask you to draw the height. Now, I don't expect perfect, but I want you to use one of those straight line tools and do the best you can. Remember, it's going to have to be perpendicular to this line, and it's going to have to go through the top of the triangle. If it helps, you can draw another line that's perpendicular or parallel, to the base, and sort of put the triangle in a box, and then that is going to be the height. Sort of the other part of the rectangle is going to be the height. So I know I drew in a bunch of colors there, so you might be wondering which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one right here. The base and the height make a 90-degree perpendicular angle. Again, if you need to write that down, go ahead, rewind it, and mark it down. Here's another one. So again, draw a line on the base that extends past. Sort of make that flat ground that the base is sitting on. Then make a line that's parallel to that. And the height is going to be a line that goes, there we go, that goes like making a rectangle, the side of a rectangle. Do you see that? Do you see how I made a rectangle? They're not slanty. They're making a 90-degree angle, so that is the height. I extended the base, I made a line parallel to the base, and then I was able to make a line perpendicular in between those two lines. Is one way to do it if you're struggling to find that perpendicular line. Make sure you have that down. All right, so now they gave us the base, so we just have to say which line is the height. Again, here's the base. Okay, what line is perpendicular to that line? Okay, some of you might be tempted to say this one because there's that right there. But notice the lines I just traced are not perpendicular, so I know that's not the height. I can say, okay, is it that one? Well, those aren't perpendicular either. These ones are perpendicular. So my height would be BD would be my height. And it all depends on what they tell me is the base. If this is the base, what's perpendicular to that? This is perpendicular. UV is perpendicular. Now, if they told me a different line was the base, a different one would be the height. If this is the base, which they're telling us, what is perpendicular to that line I just traced? This line right here, AZ. I would recommend on your Kami assignment tracing the base so you can really clearly see which one they're talking about, so you can see which one forms that right angle. And as always, let me know if you're struggling and if you need help. Being able to really understand this will help us when it comes to finding the area. Good luck.